Well, howdy, Pastor Mark Driscoll here at the Trinity Church in Scottsdale, Arizona. We've had a big work party today. I'm too old for this. My back hurts, I'm exhausted, and I was sweating like Uncle Si in a spelling bee. But we got a lot done today, and we're in the process of getting the building ready. The reason why it looks so smurfy, I'll show you. There is this big, huge dome. Star Trek-ish. The building actually opened the same year that Star Trek debuted, 1966, and we're right off exit 45, right off of Highway 101. Really excited to be starting a Bible study here coming up on Sundays, starting next Sunday at 9:30 a.m. I'll be teaching through 1 John on the Father Heart of God. That'll be our launch team Bible study as we get ready to debut the Trinity Church here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and take us a few months to get this cool, quirky, old mid-century modern building ready to go, but work is well underway. And a couple other things I wanted to let you know about. Daily devotions continue to grow. Thank you for those of you who are subscribing to those at markdriscoll.org under It's All About Jesus. And there's some new daily devotions as well available at YouVersion. It's special content that's only available there. It's a 21-day devotional on Pray Like Jesus. So you can put in my name or Pray Like Jesus at YouVersion, and you will find that content there. Lord willing, as we are teaching and meeting here in Bible study format, our hope, prayer, goal is to capture that entire series of 1 John in audio and I think video format. We're in the process of getting gear and raising money, so we appreciate your prayer and support. But as soon as all of that is ready, my hope and prayer is after we finish distributing the 1 Corinthians series, Good News for Bad Christians, then we'll finish distributing the rest of the sermons for Luke, and I think it took like 2 years to go through that book. And then following that, we'll give you the brand new series going through 1 John, the Father Heart of God, probably starting sometime around early August. So this week, quick question from a guy named Igor. Congratulations on the spectacular name. Everybody in my kindergarten class was named Mark, did not have any Igors. Here's what Igor asks. One of my religious Jehovah's Witnesses friends asked this question: why didn't Jesus up front just say that he is God? Instead, he made numerous suggestions he was God. Jesus could have said something like, I am your God, or I am God. Thanks, Igor. And so this is Igor's tough Jesus question. Well, I got a few minutes left. Let me try and quickly answer this for you, Igor, and your Jehovah's Witness religious friend. Jesus said clearly, emphatically, repeatedly, unapologetically, openly, and publicly, I am God. And I'll let you know that's why they killed him. He fed homeless people. They didn't kill him for that. He was nice to children. They didn't kill him for that. He was gracious to outcasts, the marginalized, the poor, rejected women, and the like, and they didn't kill him for that. He was loving, gracious, and kind. The reason that there was so much animosity and opposition toward him is he kept saying that he was God. In fact, I'll give you a number of places that you can look, but perhaps two would be most simple for our time together. Sometimes the reason that we don't clearly hear Jesus telling us that he's God is, number one, maybe we don't have eyes to see, we don't have ears to hear. If we're predisposed toward not seeing Jesus as God, then that could explain why we miss it in the scriptures. Number two, we're 2,000 years removed from Jesus, and because of the cultural, historical distance, sometimes the language, the titles, the nomenclature that they would use is a little bit foreign to us 2,000 years later. So it's important to go back and to ask, well, when he said he was God, is that what they understood him to be saying? And if it was exceedingly clear for him, then he was telling them he was God, and perhaps just 2,000 years and some cultural differences mean that we don't hear it quite as clearly as they did. But let me give you two places. John chapter 10, verses 30 through 33. Jesus answered, I and the Father are one. Again, the Jews picked up stones to stone him, so they're going to throw rocks at him. Hi, Calvin! That's my son. So again, they picked up stones to stone him, but Jesus said to them, I have shown you many great miracles from the Father. For which of these do you stone me? And they said, we are not stoning you for any of these, replied the Jews, but for, big word, hold your breath, here it comes, blasphemy. And here are their words. Because you, a mere man, claim to be God. So Jesus tells them who he is. They pick up rocks and they're going to stone him, that being the death penalty for blasphemy. And blasphemy is when someone claims to be God who is not necessarily God. So Jesus is declaring himself to be God. That's either true or it's false. And they pick up stones to stone him. And when he asks them, why are you going to put me to death? Why are you going to murder me? They say, because you claim to be God. That's as clear as it gets. That's exactly what they heard him say. That's exactly how they responded. Give you a second one, Matthew 26. So they keep hounding Jesus, opposing Jesus, following Jesus, because he keeps declaring himself to be God. So eventually they arrest him and they bring him on trial. And this is a public event, and they're going to ask him, do you think you're God? That's really the issue. That's why Jesus is in court that day. Now, if they've misunderstood him or he's misspoken, he could simply say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic, I was talking about my dog, we all had a big misunderstanding. But if he is saying he's God, this is the time that he will go on record legally. And this is in a court setting. And if he's not God, if he doesn't think he's God, if he hasn't said he's God, if he's misspoken, if he's been misunderstood, this is the time to set the record straight, to get his life back, to move on, to not be put to death. And if he is God, this is the time when he's going to declare it publicly and he'll endure whatever consequences occur. So the high priest said to him, I charge you under oath by the living God, which is kind of funny. It's like, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you, you? I mean, they're making him swear to God, and he is God, but they make him take an oath. Tell us if you are the Christ, the Son of God. And these are divine titles for God become a man. Yes, it is as you say, Jesus replied, but I say to all of you, in the future you will see the Son of Man, and this is a divine title from Daniel 7. The Son of Man is God become a man, riding into human history to judge the living and the dead and establishing a kingdom that never ends and ruling over all peoples, times, and places. This is Jesus' favorite title for himself. He uses it some 80 times roughly in the 4 Gospels, and it was a title from Daniel 7 where, if memory serves me correct, about 700 years prior, the prophecy, the promise was given that God was coming and that he would come as the Son of Man, that is, God becoming a man. And Jesus says, Daniel was talking about me, the prophecy, the promise, the foreshadowing, the expectation, the anticipation, it's all fulfilled in my arrival. He says, you'll see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One, so God the Father and God the Son ruling over all, and coming in the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest, the religious leader, the guy who's overseeing this trial, tore his clothes. He's offended, and he says he has spoken blasphemy. What is that? Someone saying they're God. Why do we need any more witnesses? Look now, you've heard the blasphemy. Blasphemy. So over and over and over, the religious people hound him, follow him, harass him. Ultimately, they arrest him, they beat him, they scourge him, they crucify him for one reason. Jesus said openly, repeatedly, emphatically, unapologetically, I am God. He said it in a number of ways. He said it in a number of occasions. He said it to a number of people. He used a number of titles. He also confirmed it when under oath, and he confirmed it on trial, and he went to the cross, and he suffered, and he died for one reason. He said he was God. And if he wasn't God, if he didn't think he was God, if he didn't say he was God, there is no reason that he should or would suffer. He simply could have corrected that and gone on with his life. So you can tell your friend, yes, Jesus said he was God. He said it all the time, and that's why he was opposed all the time. And the only way they could get him to stop saying he was God, they killed him. And then 3 days later he came back and he basically said, I told you so. And he proved that all of his claims were true. So Igor, thanks for the question. Thanks everybody for praying. As soon as we record the next series on 1 John, the Father Heart of God, we'll give it away to you. I'm really excited. This was the first book of the Bible I ever studied as a brand new Christian, and it's the first book of the Bible that I ever taught. It was in a small group format. I'm sure I did a horrible job, and hopefully I'll do a better job this time. So I love you. Been a long work day. Time to go jump in the pool. God bless you. Hope you had a good Easter. That's it. Bye-bye.